Hi, and welcome to my presentation on classroom environment, schedule, expectations, and procedures. This is based off of toddlers between the ages of 24 to 36 months, and my name is Monique Tsam. First, in creating the physical classroom environment, you want to have the goal of the environment in mind about influencing the floor plan to create an obstacle to eliminate behaviors. And children this age are actively exploring their environment. So the center areas that I would include would be dramatic play, reading, manipulatives, nature, science, art, sand, and water play. It's important to remember to separate noisy and quiet centers. Also to think about where you're going to place these centers, where you have outlets, sinks, tables, and shelves. But also to remember that you want to make sure that the environmental load is not too stimulating. So focus on what the children might see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. So in creating these I would use boundaries by placing furniture, arranging it so that children can recognize areas by these visual boundaries, but also using the carpeting or any tape to give those visual boundaries. I would also make sure that there is a resting area where children can de-escalate if needed or rest if needed. The arrangement of the room makes it possible for staff to see all children at a glance. So you want to make sure that furniture is low and you can see over to other children across the room. Zone yourselves so that you have one teacher placed on one side of the room and another placed on the opposite side so you guys can focus in on all the children around you. Now with the space, you want to allow enough room to move, but yet not too much room because you don't want to cause any running or for children to enter and exit the areas without bumping one another. You want to use lightly colored furniture and walls with not a lot of wall space taken up because this can cause overstimulation. In my classroom, I like to place a parent info board, and that board has information for parents to review when they come in at drop-off or pickup. The items on the board are health alerts, newsletters, menus, lessons, evacuation drills, and any other communication can be communicated through drop-off and pickup, like I said, or even making phone calls if necessary. Visuals can be posted around the classroom so that children are able to see a visual schedule. If needed, you can take them to that schedule to review it. You can also use visuals for hygiene, such as hand washing or toothbrushing. Also, visuals are used when lining up. And next is schedules. Schedules are an important part of the day. Without a schedule, children will be lost and behavior will be at its maximum. So it's important to schedule. And so this schedule here allows for children 24 to 36 months to focus on the activity that's at hand. Not too long of time frames before their age group, just because they have a smaller attention span. So you see quite a bit on this schedule, things that allow for diaper changing, which also are an important part of the routine for children 24 to 36 months old. So Schedules help maintain consistency and have step-by-step routines so that children's days are predictable, and following routines allow older toddlers the confidence and independence needed to grow. Visual schedules available for children who need to see what to do next, as I mentioned earlier. And this just helps children feel secure and safe. And also, like I said, they can feel confident when they know what to expect. And next is classroom expectations. So we have our basic classroom expectations, which be kind to others, use our listening ears and looking eyes, have gentle hands, speaking with quiet voices, walking feet while inside, taking care of our classroom, and hand washing before entering. These expectations should be given at the beginning of starting school and should be reminded throughout so that children are aware from the beginning. In centers, the centers for this age group are free choice, child-led. There's no time limit on how long they can spend due to their age. It's good for them to have the opportunity to explore, and maybe they want to stay in that center a lot longer than another child. I allow multiple children unless it becomes a little too overcrowded, but I think this is a good opportunity for them to decide whether or not they want to move along or make the decision that it's too crowded and they may want to make the choice to leave on their own. Items can be moved across centers to allow use of exploration with other center objects. So I allow them to bring objects from other centers so they can explore a little bit more. And children this age love to move about in short periods of time. So this is what's expected at their age. For cleanup, materials are to be returned to the labeled locations and areas they belong in. Everyone assists in the cleaning up, including the teachers, because we're models to the children. Mealtime, we all sit together at the table, including the teachers, to model how we eat and what we do at the table. We can have conversations. We use our utensils for foods that require utensils. We use our fingers for finger foods. And we stay at the table while we're eating. We clear our plates and our food into the containers and push in our chairs when we leave the table. For outdoors, we remind the children that we go up the stairs of the slide and then down the slide on our bottoms. Bikes stay on the bike paths. Helmets must be worn. Sand stays in the sand area. And we can yell and run outside. Diapering and toileting. Children who use the toilet learn to wipe, flush, and wash hands. Only as many children that can use the toilet can use the toilets in the toileting area. So if there's 2 toilets, then only 2 children can access that area. Diapering children must also wash their hands once they've been diapered. And our procedures, so at arrival, before arrival, teachers need to prepare the class for the children, so they set up all the materials for the day, putting away any toys that have dried, taking down the chairs, setting up the table for breakfast. They also greet children as they arrive and have any communications needed with parents, have paperwork ready for any parents that need to sign or have a paper document given to them, help children to place items in their cubbies when they arrive, wash hands, and use the restroom. Also supporting any children who have a hard time in the morning and need extra support once the parents leave. Another procedure is lining up. Teachers will give children a 5-minute warning to clean up. Then the bell will ring once that time has ended and children will need to clean. Children will use the restroom and get their coats if needed. Once they're in line, they'll stand on their tag or sticker. One teacher will wait by the cubbies in the door where the line begins, and they will make sure to grab the emergency bag and the attendant sign-in and water bottles. The second teacher will engage with children in songs and singing while we are waiting for any children to line up. Circle time, give 5-minute warning bell, then ring bell, and do listening ears. Meet at circle and begin singing Open Shut Them as all children chime in. Then go over visuals of expectations of the classroom and discuss outdoor safety. Nap time, one teacher will prepare cots, get the sleep music going, and children will use the restrooms and wash their hands. They'll take off their shoes and place them in their cubby. They'll get their blankets from their cubby and they'll bring them to their cot. And then they'll lay down and relax or fall asleep. Some support might be needed, so some teachers may stay close by to help those who need help falling asleep. And then safety plans. We would have our fire drill. During our fire drill, teaching staff and other staff are always pre-assigned at the beginning of the school year, so they know what their duty is. The fire alarm will sound for both practice drill and an emergency. Teachers will announce to the children, fire drill, and we need to line up. Children will begin to line up. One teacher at the head of the line. First teacher will grab the emergency bag and attendants. Teacher will count children before exiting the side door exit. The second teacher will check around the class and restroom and call clear before leaving the exit. Teacher will lead children to the designated parking lot on the side of the school, and the teacher will take a head count once they arrive at the location in the parking lot, as well as call the names of the children to verify on the roster. Supervisor will come and verify children from the sign-in sheets for accuracy, and then allow students and teachers to return to the class once the drill is over. For the lockdown drill, the center supervisor will call out the drill to the classrooms. The teachers will close all blinds in their classroom and shut doors. They'll be told to remain quiet and enter the supply room with locking and shutting the door behind them. And they'll wait in that room quietly with some supplies that they have in that room available. And they'll wait till the supervisor has cleared the area for them to have access outside of the room again. And my references are below: Child Aware Infant and Toddler Environment Rating Scale, Classroom Transitions Presentation, Design Environment Presentation. And thank you for listening to my presentation. Thank you. Have a good evening.